People still get together and do these hippy-dippy drum circle things.
Yeah. That's what we do in April 9th, drum circle.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's what's going down.
I think I have to wash my hair that
You're busy. It's looking
How's
sharp.
my hair?
Easy with nice people.
Speaking of nice people.
Where?
Not me.
How did I end up with these guys?
Here we are. We are here with Mr. Sam Coulson,
It is I. Greetings.
the saviour of guitar in Calgary.
Yes, sir. That's me.
I'm Dan Clayton.
Matty McKay.
That's me.
And I'm Sam Coulson.
I'm Dan Clayton.
And this is my guitar.
And I'm Matt McKay.
And this one hasn't got a name, but I love it.
Really?
Yes.
What do you got? What is it? Tell us about it.
It's a 1996 made in Japan Fender Strat. And it's got some upgraded pickups and some big frets. And it stays in tune really good. I've got the action up and I've got some really light strings on it. And I like it, man.
So tell us what you're playing for string gauges.
I've got sevens on here. I got a carpal tunnel diagnosis and I've pivoted hard. And I found them to be quite good, I've got them staying in tune pretty good. And I just have to remind myself before I play a gig not to squeeze too hard and, try to keep my intonation in. But I'm pretty happy on the sevens these days.
Yeah, because I grabbed this before we started filming and was attempting to play it.
Because what have you got on yours?
I usually play 10 to 46 on most standard tuned guitars, but the guitar I brought with me, I've got like 11 to 48s on it.
Yeah.
And
heroic.
Yeah, I like I like that. I like fighting for it, I guess. But
I've got a 13 as my G.
holy.
Yeah, and this is I believe it's a 39 or a 38 or something.
I didn't know they went that low.
I couldn't even. I actually couldn't even feel the E string, the high E string on this guitar.
Where is it?
It's gone.
Yeah, it's a bit of an adjustment, but it's just all about how much you squeeze, right?
I don't think that it's really affecting how awesome you sound.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Yeah.
So we have Sam. He's going to be doing a clinic kind of masterclass for us on April 9th here in Calgary.
Stoked to be doing it with you. Yeah, I've been watching what you guys have been doing online, and I think it's a wonderful thing getting all the guitar players in Calgary organised together because it's more fun with people.
Yeah.
And something that I've realised, especially post-COVID, people tend to play guitar by themselves, and it's so much more fun when you're engaged in a community and playing with other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so fun. Like that's the best part of what we're doing, right? We'll have experts like Sam come and play, but the whole point is to get everyone together and talk and really just have fun and reconnect about the instrument, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's been missing for a while, and having the opportunity to have people like Sam come in and people are going to learn. You're going to learn something. You're going to pick something up, and you're going to hopefully leave feeling inspired to play and to come back again and meet people and just plug back in again and just get connected. It's really special, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah. Something that I'm hoping to talk about. I think something that pretty much every guitar player knows is a minor pentatonic scale.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
And sort of the old shape. It's a very familiar thing. But there's modes that you can get out of that just by adding a couple of notes. Mm-hmm. So something that I like to do with that, if you just add, a couple of notes, you can get the Dorian mode. So there's my minor pentatonic. If I add that second and that sixth, you've still got the whole. You've still got that, but just adding a little bit of flavour. And you can do that with all the modes. You can take your pentatonic framework and you can add a little bit. And I'm excited to talk about loop stations as well. I think something that every guitar player should have is a loop station, so you can work on your rhythm chops and you can record it and you can play lead over the top. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I'm looking forward to chatting to you guys about while we're there.
That would be a really good thing to go through.
Yeah.
I think also, if you could, one thing that's always mesmerised me about you, Sam, is your rock guitar kind of faces.
Well, it's important.
Yeah. Will you be able to do some touching on that as well?
Absolutely. Because your face is the ambassador of your music.
Wow.
And if you don't believe in your music, why should anyone else?
Very true.
Right, so you've got to... You've got to get those bending, stank faces going.
I'm having sympathetic stank face over here. The only thing that people would think about, like believe about me from my face, from watching me play, is that I'm having a stroke.
What kind of stroke?
Oh, like not the good kind. Cut that out. Oh man, it's hard to hide it on your face when you're playing.
And that's the best compliment that someone can give you, is when they're giving you, you know, a stank face and playing like you're playing, and someone's giving you the face.
Yeah.
You know you're conveying something.
That thing. Oh yeah. I catch myself doing it all the time if I'm into something.
Yeah.
Just like the sympathetic stank face.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Tell us about your journey, your history. What has led you to where we are right now through the course of your life? Musically?
Sure. So I started playing guitar. I was about 15 years old, and all of my schoolwork suffered, and all I wanted to do was play my guitar. And you know, at a similar time, like maybe a year or two after, YouTube came about. I think like 2005 or something. And I was quite early on the YouTube guitar scene, and you know, I posted a few videos hoping to get a few students. And you know, got a bit of traction on there, and you know, sort of managed to get a bit of a career going from YouTube. I've been mentored by Paul Gilbert as a result of that. Like, he saw some of my YouTube videos and was complimentary of what I was doing, which was phenomenal for me because he's one of my all-time favourite guitar players. So off the back of that, I got a gig playing in the prog rock band Asia. And this was, when was this? This was maybe 2012. So you know, I was really fortunate.
You would have been quite young at that point.
I was 25. I was 25. And it was great because you know, being mentored by the old guard of British classic rock was incredible.
No kidding.
And it was the all original lineup except for Steve Howe, who had left, which made room for me. But it was Carl Palmer on drums from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, John Wetton, who was, you know, from so many bands. He was in Wishbone Ash, he was in Uriah Heep, Roxy Music. You know, huge big list of bands he's been in. And Jeff Downes, who co-wrote Video Killed the Radio Star and was half of the Buggles. So touring with those guys and making records for a few years was a real good education for me. I learned so much from those guys and got to tour with them. After that, I did a We Will Rock You production, which was out of Calgary with a lot of our mutual friends. And I got to tour, and that was a great guitar lesson for me, learning some of those Brian May parts.
Yeah, you sounded great on that show.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. I learned so much. Learned so much doing that, you know. Something about Brian May's solos is they're just all so lyrical and singable, you know, just so memorable. So I really enjoyed doing that. And, you know, I'm sort of doing the dad thing now. I've got a couple of kids, and I'm teaching lots of guitar. I'm just recovering from like a bit of a shoulder thing and this carpal tunnel thing. So I'm kind of dipping my toe in the water again. I'm, you know, looking to get back out a little bit. I've got a few really light guitars. I've got a light Flying V over there. Because that's something that's been really bad for me. Heavy guitars, long gigs, all on that left shoulder. So just sort of bouncing back from that. I've, you know, still doing the YouTube thing, still teaching, still making a few records here and there. Doing some sessions, you know, teaching some online lessons. So it's sort of the classic musician thing these days. You've got your fingers in multiple pies, haven't you, to sort of keep it all going.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm stoked to be here in Calgary. I'm here in Calgary because I met my wife on a tour in China, and I came over here and we were getting on really well. And you know, Calgary's been so good to me. It's a great city to live in. Lots of space. It might be cold sometimes, but the sun's always shining over here, man, and it's been good to me over here. I'm really happy to be a Canadian citizen, and it's home. It's home for me now, man. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you. That's for sure.
Thank you, sir.
What kind of things for you, Sammy, in terms of the guitar scene in Calgary? What do you think? One or two things that come to mind that are great about it and what also kind of needs a bit of TLC?
Well, you know, we've got so many world-class acts coming out of Calgary at the moment, like Carl McKerney, you know, great singer. There's so much talent here.
If you had to take one piece of advice and just and give that to any young player, pick one thing that's the single most important thing to remember.
Well, you know, stand up and play with humans. You know? Like the guitar feels so different when you've got the strap and you're stood up. It's swinging around. It's so easy to control it when you're sat down. But I think it's such an important skill that maybe people aren't doing as much as they should be these days. Stand up, find yourself a friend who plays drums and a friend who plays bass, and, you know, dare to play together. Because I think that's something about, you know, it's such a day and age we live in now with Instagram and everyone's filming themselves on their phones. And that's something that I do a lot as well. But it's so much more fun to get in a room and play with other people. It is. You know, it's really is what it's all about for me. Yeah.
And you've been getting out playing again, right? I saw a couple of you online riffing on stage.
Yeah, I've done a couple gigs already this year, you know, and it just feels good. Because there's a transfer of energy that happens when you play in front of people. You know, you get something from their reaction, and hopefully you're giving something to them, and there's this circular transfer of energy that happens. And the only way to really find out about that is to try, you know, get some friends together, book a gig in a pub, and go for it. And it'll be the best thing you ever do in so many ways. Yeah.
One of the best pieces of advice I ever got from an older musician that I knew when I was quite young. Basically, the philosophy that he kind of looked at it with was that you take everybody's energy, whatever it is, like kind of like you said, and somebody could be going through something awful. And your job is to take that, and you might not even know what it is, but it's like, it's just energy. It's just some sort of a transfer, like you said, between you, and spin it around and give it back. Make them forget. If that's what they need. Or just bring them some joy. You know, sometimes people might need to forget what's going on in their life, and the guitar has, you know, music in general, like, but you know, the guitar has the power to do that, and I think it has the power to do that when you're playing it as well, like you said. So if you just like take that chance, like book a gig at a pub, find some friends to play with, get out and do that. It's good. It's good for your mental health. Because you're spending time with people face to face, and you're not just like looking at what everybody's doing online. It's all too easy to kind of isolate ourselves right now.
And that's kind of how we live these days. Like everyone shops from home. A lot of people work from home. You know, people don't really go to the cinema anymore. And I think being part of a music community is, in so many ways, amazing for your mental health. You know, sharing an interest with like-minded people. And, you know, I think music is one of the best ways to do that.
You know, there's scientific research that shows that people's brains can sort of sync up when they're playing together. On an actual, like, physiological level, your brains can sync up when you're playing together, and you share, like, that's a pretty special thing to share with people, you know? I know that playing in different bands over the years, you create a bond with people, even in a short period of time, that you have for a lifetime. There's like a kinship there that's like, if nobody's ever played music with somebody else, like, it's really hard to describe the camaraderie that happens and the connection that you make with other people when you're playing music together, and the friendship that it's deep. 100%. It runs deep.
I've hosted a jam before a couple of times, and I've had people get up and play with me that I've never met before. And sometimes by the end of a song, you feel you really know that person, you know, and you know, you understand whether you can trust them or you know, if it's a really cool connection that happens. I've heard people talk about hunter-gatherer humans as well, and how hunter-gatherer humans would all run at the same tempo. There's something like deeply human about rhythm and being together in that, you know. I think that's a cool thing.
Actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because when Dan and I had originally gotten together, we just went out to watch a band play, and we when we first kind of chatted about this, and we just got together to hang out, and we've kind of lost it in a lot of ways. We're still wired to be like tribal, collective community, and
that's a band.
It's because there's like a tribal, you know, deep within our DNA, that's there from, you know, however many, you know, years of
Yeah,
evolution and
millions of years.
rhythm. You look at like just like the drums. That's like one of the most basic forms of that connection where people still get together and do these hippy dippy drum circle things.
Yeah. That's what we do in April 9th, drum circle.
Yeah.
That's what's going down.
I think I have to wash my hair.
You're busy. It's looking
How's
sharp.
my hair?
Ooh,
Ooh,
that looks fresh.
today. I have to shave it fresh now. It's like it's turning into a thing,
I just got a trim too. I'm just kind of rearranging what I've got left.
buddy.
They don't
talk
land
to
well.
me.
Sammy, this doesn't land
2
well.
years. 2 years.
Yeah, what I've got left. Give me a break.
You said that to me the other day. Had your was it ears dropped or something?
You had your ears lowered.
Yeah.
Ears lowered. Yeah.
Yeah, I had mine drop down to my ankles.
It's great. Like when you come to these events, you'll start to meet new people and exchange phone numbers. And there's people that came down to the first event that we had where they were literally talking to people that were just excited about guitar as them, but they hadn't actually even played together in a room with even another guitar player, right?
Yeah.
And so it was fantastic for just me, and I know Matty, you felt the same. Just around that energy of people finding friends and pals in that room. And they were just coming out to share stories about guitar and come out of the bedroom and actually just talk about the instrument and what they love about it. And there's 2 hours of guilt-free nerding out about guitars, and it was amazing just to see that all come together, right?
Yeah, because everybody else is there for the exact same reason. You're not going to annoy the out of anybody, just sitting there like, oh, and then I cascaded my overdrive pedal into another one, and. Yeah, so there's other people that actually wanted to hear about that. Even Dan and I left. We left when we were buzzing about it. We went and grabbed a quick bite because it had been a long day and we didn't get a chance to eat. We just talked about it the whole time after we just went had dinner after, and it was we were excited about it. And I'm like jaded and old and have been a touring musician for 20 years, and and I'm excited about it leaving. Even though I'm like you can get burnt out on the guitar too. And it's pretty easy to do if you're not keeping the right attitude about it, and it was good for me, too as well. Like it's good. Everybody that we saw there was one guy that was like well into his 80s that came, and he loved it. He had a great time. Yeah, and we had like teenagers all the way up to people in getting on in years, and that's exactly what we talked about when we kind of had envisioned what this could be. It was just like we just want to support people and connect people and get people excited about it because there is so much talent here, and there's like we're also just like we want to help like mine for talent, and support people through their journey because like in 15 or 20 years there's going to be some absolute mutant guitar players that are coming out of Calgary. I look at some other cities in Canada like Winnipeg. There are so many incredible guitar players that are coming out of Winnipeg. And you can kind of trace it back to like there's one guy in particular that I know a lot of people would attribute the guitar scene in Winnipeg to, especially like right now, is a guy named Murray Pulver, and he really mentored a lot of people. So that's like why we've got Joey Landreth and Ariel and these incredible guitar players and musicians that are doing like incredible things. And I think that with the population of Calgary, that there's if we can help to nurture that and to give back and not be gatekeepers and just go about it that way. It's really going to be something special.
Have you heard about people talk about when a city has a cold climate, it produces more good musicians. It's like England as well. Rainy outside. You want to be inside practicing your guitar. And Calgary's got a long winter. That is a long season of guitar practice,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah. That's a special thing. I'm pretty happy down here in my basement with the heating on, working on some pentatonic licks. Keeping it going, keeping my hands warm in the cold.
I think it was Jaron had said on one of our last videos that I'm going to mess it up, but it was basically like a harsh climate breeds art. It produces. People might not. One of the things that I really wanted to contribute to that was that people can make a living doing this, even if they're not hearing that at home. You can do this if you want to, and if you work hard and you
if you're driven,
get connected and you're driven and you take the steps that you need to take, and
it's like
some people might not be hearing that it's a viable thing, or they might be kind of feeling some guilt or shame about it even, and it's like, maybe I'm projecting my own experience on it a little bit. But,
No, I think it's very real, right?
yeah, it
Very
is.
real.
You know, like I almost felt like embarrassed to be a musician in some ways, because it was like almost like apologizing for like, oh, I'm a guitar player. Yeah, like.
Well, it wasn't like ever seen as a traditional career,
Yeah.
right? And it was not stable and all that sort of stuff. But
But it can be.
Yeah.
exactly.
But it doesn't even have to be that. Like with what this is, the Guitar Collective is it doesn't have to be necessarily a pursuit of a career. It could just be a pursuit of being good at the guitar for yourself.
Totally.
You know, it could be it can be whatever you want it to be, and it could be there for you when you need it in the most.
Yeah.
Or it can be something that is, you know, casual, or you go up and maybe you play some gigs and you really enjoy it, and it's a really exciting thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
A friend of mine came down to our first one, and and we reflected afterwards. He was like, you know, I came down to support you. This is great. This is awesome. But I walked away just re-inspired by the guitar. Like, he was reflecting on what Russell had said first of all, but he was just saying it was just great to be in that room, and it just kind of refocused him to go away feeling ready to go pick up his guitar again. So it was nice to hear that kind of praise in a different way, you know. It could have come down and gone, yeah, great job, but it was like, actually I was surprised at how much it influenced me on the way out the door. Like,
it does hit you differently when you're in the same room, doesn't it? And you know, it's something that I do, spending a lot of time watching YouTube, watching podcasts, and you know, this, that, next, and gear reviews, and that's great too. But there's something special about being just a couple feet away from someone and actually watching it with your own eyes and hearing it with your own ears, and just being inspired by the actual sound of the amp, because you don't really get that on the internet. You know, it's quite a big signal chain with the amp, you know, mic, interface, all of this stuff. You're not feeling it in the same way as if the amp was just there. It's nice going out and listening to guitar music. I think it's such a nice thing that you're doing, getting people together too. I think that's really what the city needs and what the world needs, you know, people coming out together and making some music, man.
because it's that common theme in those people's life, right? It's that musical undercurrent of that connection that pulls us all together. So.
Yeah, there's something about hearing, you know, some tubes and paper working in the room and moving air, and you know, people are reacting to it as well. So you're feeling that energy around you to the reaction to what's happening. You know, when somebody's putting something out there from their instrument through the tubes, through the speaker, and coming at you, there's an energy that's created, and it's really special, and it is inspiring. I felt inspired too. I've been playing way more guitar at home, because a lot of the times I play guitar for 6 to 7 hours a day if I'm cutting guitar for people, and I'll be sitting. Sometimes I'm, you know, a lot of, like, I'll be playing on guitar sessions where it's a band off the floor, and then a lot of times I'll be sending out guitar tracks or whatever, and I'll be playing guitar for, you know, 6 or 7 hours. But and then I'll go home, and I've been playing guitar at home too, because I'm trying to figure other things, and, you know, like, fill the holes up in my game. You know what I mean? Like, fill those cracks that are sort of missing, and feeling inspired to do so. And it's like, I wasn't totally expecting that for myself as much as wanting to just, like, help people. You know, that's kind of my biggest. That was my biggest goal going into this, was just helping people and connecting with people. And but yeah, I definitely was a little bit, you know, surprised by how much it inspired me to just be playing and practicing just for the sake of
for you,
know,
right?
for myself even, and like, I'm jaded and old, and
it's hard as well, because you're learning songs, you know, getting the set ready for tour and everything, and it's easy to forget about yourself and doing something for you as well, right? Yeah,
especially when it does turn into your job. You know, like, and it's been my job for, you know, 22 years now. And it's you know, so when it becomes your job, it was like, you know, your hobby, that thing that you can escape to. It kind of, you know, once you've been doing it for a little while, it can sort of turn into being more of like, it's work, you know. And then kind of just like falling back in love with the guitar and learning again, and just like not being complacent with it, and just like remembering why you started playing. And it was like, the only reason that I started playing was because I just loved the instrument. It wasn't for any other reason. It wasn't because I wanted to be the best guitar player in the world or this or that. I just wanted to
it's the joy of hearing a note, you know. And it's same for me, man. You know, just being obsessed with rock music and wanted to make those same noises, you know, by myself. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, remembering what drew you to the. It could be something as simple as remembering what drew you to the instrument in the first place.
Yeah.
That, like, you know, that joy and that elation and also just like approaching it like, you know, I've got young kids and just like trying to, and you do too, and it's like trying to look at, the world with that curiosity again.
Yeah.
And being curious about the guitar again, and because of that, and it's you know, even just after our one event that we've had so far, it's been, you know, it was like, you know, just about 6 weeks ago, and I'm still feeling like the effects of, I'm still playing, I'm still kind of practicing at home, and I'm still doing that thing, and it's I'm excited about it.
I'm sure lots of other people are too, man.
Yeah, and hopefully it's just got a trickle-down effect, and because we want to continue to grow it and build it so that we can continue to just like get it bigger and bigger and bigger. Because eventually, what would be really nice is if when the clinicians come in, we'd love to have like their full band with them.
Totally.
And, you know, wouldn't be necessarily a full show, but it'd be like some playing and demoing, and then them speaking in between, and actually seeing them play in a super practical application. And it's like, this is what I was doing here. This is why I was doing it. I was listening to what my drummer was doing, or the bass player was responding this way, and you know, we really want to build it up to that point where it's big enough and enough people are showing up all the time. And it's like we can bring in a bunch of different multi-genre type things, and hopefully people still show up for everything, because you're going to be exposed to something you've maybe never really thought to check out, and you might really like it, and you're probably going to pick something up that's super useful out of it. It might be like a nugget or two, you know, out of the deal. So it's exciting.
No, I think it's great what you guys are doing. I'm stoked to be a part of it. Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
So while we were on the topic of like progressing and finding, you know, ways to progress when you've been a pro for so long, I wondered what you guys were kind of looking to develop for you guys when you pick up and start rehearsing and practicing, not to like prepare for shows, but like, what are you trying to explore on the instrument, I guess? Sammy first, and then...
Well, like we were chatting earlier, something I'm trying to do a lot these days is playing a trio, and I'm trying to sing. And I'm trying to do syncopated things on the guitar while singing something else. And, you know, like I was playing you some ZZ Top riffs and some other stuff earlier, and I have to think really hard, and I have to slow down a huge amount. Like I was doing have mercy, you know. Been waiting for the bus all day. And I messed it up, you know. It's that syncopated weird thing. I have to work so hard on that. And it's kind of fun doing the singing thing, because as soon as you're the singer, you can play as long a guitar solo as you like.
And we can't all be steel beans, hey?
No.
Speaking of syncopated and singing at the same time.
I can't,
Oh, man. Yeah, that's the connection between what is coming out of your mouth and then muting strings with your left hand while you're playing, and playing a rhythm with your right hand, and then trying to sing something completely different is a really, really good exercise.
And you're doing it all, and you're thinking about, okay, I need to step on that pedal in a second, and I need to make sure, you know, that the mic is on my mouth. It's a lot of multitasking. So I'm pretty deep in that at the moment. I'm trying to figure out what songs would be good for me to stretch out on, you know, that kind of suit my range, and all of that kind of stuff. It's been a journey.
That's fun?
Do you find with that you're trying to focus more on the guitar playing, or it's a singing thing you're working on?
Well, it's both. I'm trying to make the guitar feel automatic. You know, I'm trying to not think about that and let it do its thing. And you know, it's so funny as well, because if I'm thinking about if I'm going to mess it up, I probably will. So I'm trying to work on my confidence as well. You know.
Yeah, it's especially like when you are like, you know, working on a trio thing too, because there's nothing else to fall back on.
Yeah.
There's no safety net there.
You're right. You've got to keep playing, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got to keep playing.
You're the most honest when you're in a trio, right? You're so vulnerable, but in a good way, right?
Well, and it's my favourite format as well, because everyone is working to sound as big as they can. I've played in bigger bands where you have to really be careful about how much of the sonic pie you're taking up, But that all goes out the window in a trio. I've got my fuzz on, and it's wide, and I've got loads of delay on, and you know, it's my favourite format to be in for sure.
How about you, Matty?
Oh man, I've been trying to improve my my jazz vocabulary and theory. I really relied on the fact that like hearing something and playing it back and being able to just do something without actually knowing what I was doing for a lot of years. And you know, you can fool a lot of people, but it's like, and it's that, and you know, it's for myself. I'm trying to just kind of figure more of that stuff out and just like really take, because I think that there's a lot of crosstalk in a lot of different genres when you can really, you know, I'm trying to learn some bop licks and trying to learn some stuff like that. And they're totally different positions. And
you're sort of changing arpeggio depending on what chord you're playing over, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so, you know, comping chords and then being able to play within that a little bit. And also just the part that I've been enjoying with that is that it's like not the same stuff that you would naturally go for in like necessarily pop music or rock music. It's not as pentatonic based. So kind of figuring out it's like, you know, you kind of want to stay in these boxes that you know and that you're used to that work for you, and it's like just part of your voice, and kind of interrupting that and creating some new like brain pathways and also creating the muscle memory so that it's easy. So sometimes there'll be something that's happening if I'm trying to track on something and I need to do something kind of different, and because I'm working on this other stuff, it makes something a lot more automatic, and it sort of just happens, and like, whoa, like I wasn't expecting to be able to pull that off, or where it's like, sometimes I'll be like, oh shit, this part's coming up. And then it's like, oh, that happened a lot more instinctually than I was expecting it to, because I've been kind of working on things that are difficult and like pushing myself like way outside of my comfort zone for the sake of just changing it up. And because I think it's been helping and useful, and it's also just the emotion in that style of playing when someone's a really great player is very inspiring to me. And
I was watching a John Bollinger interview with John Five, talking about bebop, and John Five was talking about how there's some sort of parallels between the country picking and the jazz thing.
There is, so I already like kind of have some of this stuff because of that, and like I really love Texas swing and that style of country music, and so there's a lot of crosstalk there already, but I'm trying to push myself a little bit further with it, and so that it's, instead of having to like, if I have to go and do a gig like that, like be like, oh, like what do I have to like relearn this, because if I would shed on something like that and I could play it for like the duration of the gig or the tour, and it was, you know, I would execute it and whatever, but then if I went away from it for a while and went back to just kind of like playing, you know, either pop country or some rock stuff or whatever, it would go away. And I'd have to like relearn it again, because it wasn't like you were talking about that automatic thing. You know, where it's like, if I can, it's kind of what I'm trying to do, is just like practice things practice those things that are not necessarily in 100% of my wheelhouse, so that they're a lot more accessible a lot quicker. Because I think that helps just your vocabulary as a whole also. And there's a lot of crosstalk between country and jazz stuff, and a lot of my favorite country players, like Brent Mason, for example, he's a great jazz player and a great swing player.
There you go.
As well. And there's a lot of things that, you know, and then I think his favorite guitar player, I recall reading something, was Jerry Reed. And Jerry Reed was an absolute monster at all that stuff too, an incredible guitar player. And so if anybody's watching that has never checked out any Jerry Reed stuff, like, he was way ahead of his time.
Like Jerry's Breakdown, all of that stuff.
Oh man, like The Claw, all those things.
Yeah, it's scary stuff, isn't it? So much virtuosity.
And some of his B-side stuff was like so cool. There's one song, it's one of my favorite songs probably ever, called Roving Gambler. And it's just like incredible. And it's like just quite a chill song. And there's not any real crazy guitar playing on it. But it is crazy at the same time because of how well he plays, but it's more groove based. But he was way ahead of his time, in my opinion, and he inspired a lot of other people, like Brent, for example, and whatever, that inspired all this other generation of like myself. I was obsessed with that when I was younger, and I was playing in a lot of country bands, and that's been helpful to try and make it just automatic.
That's cool, man. I like that.
What about you, Dan?
It always changes with me. I've always been a very strong rhythm player, and getting those kind of like interesting rhythms are definitely around slightly less obvious chord shapes, more for that kind of early alternative rock stuff. It was always what I was drawn to. About like Mike Eisenberg from Incubus was always a big like influence to me, and so I was always interested in that kind of music and that kind of interesting chords that sound like they're not supposed to be chords when you play them. But I'm trying to get like just a bit more free flowing with the solos, with like making it sound a bit more melodic and lyrical and like someone singing it, and trying to make sure that I can almost sing the melody of what I'm playing. And you might put like a quick run in there in the middle to give it a guitar edge. But I'm trying to be a bit more like intentional, like I'm playing the major third here, then flicking to a slight minor third to bend up to the major third to kind of just with people a bit, like when you're trying to change through that harmony a bit, but trying to make it simple but yet and memorable at the same time, which I find is hard because you go through that motion like everyone does where you're trying to play quick licks and get quicker and quicker, and I'm trying to slow down, have more space, get a bit more pacing and a bit steadier, and so that's what I'm trying to be a bit more intentional, I'd say. Nothing's game changing in terms of theory or anything like that. It's more just trying to feel it and be more intentional with the notes I'm playing.
Match the human voice a little bit more, like try to follow that. It's huge. That's really cool.
It's fun. I find it's good because I'll put a couple of videos out on my own little YouTube stuff, but it's picking a song that you're familiar with the vocal melody and then just trying to play the guitar melody as if you're the vocalist, basically. And that's been a really good education and not just playing it positionally, like playing up and down the string and bending a bit more and things like that. It's just been something to take me out of that more stuff that I'm used to playing, I guess. It's been fun.
That is cool.
It's
a smart thing to do for anybody, to be able to just like pick the vocal melody and then try to match the same inflection as a singer would hit with it too, you know, like the vibrato and like passing notes bending into something as well, you know. And
it's a little bit like trying to copy a horn line as well, because you've got to, like if you're a singer, you've got to breathe in, haven't you? If you're a horn player, you've got to breathe in, and you know, the onslaught of notes has to stop for a second. You know,
take a breath.
It's a good thing to keep in the back of your mind. You know, stop for a minute.
So Sam's breath.
It's a quick breath.
Just a quick breath.
Like a swimmer.
Michael Phelps. It's amazing.
Machine Gun Coulson, I like it.
There you go.
Coulson. Actually, though.
This is great. Thanks, Sam, for taking the time to sit down with us and just give us a bit more of your background for everyone watching. And
my pleasure.
Please come out, check out Sam. Please come to our events and support us.
I'm stoked to talk to everyone. You know, I'm a big old guitar nerd, and I've, you know, it's funny because the missus doesn't want to hear about it, right? So let's talk about stacking gain pedals and you know, effects loops and what kind of pick you should use and strings and pickups and.
You're a Jazz 3 guy?
Jazz 3, it's the Rolls Royce of picks.
It is.
Really?
It's the Rolls Royce, What do you use, man?
Jazz 3s.
There you go.
But I got the grippy ones.
The grippy ones,
I've got the cat tongue ones.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah, I don't have one with me, but...
You know, I've used those grippy ones, and I do this thing where I like to, you know, do the old tappy, right? And I've got this little thing that I do, because you've got to put it somewhere. And if I've got a grippy one, it's too grippy and I can't do it.
See, and I'm finding that I'm getting some of the Jazz 3s, you can't really see it on the camera, but you'll see that sometimes I'm getting these ones that have this sort of a little, kind of an edge, like around the center of it, and they feel weird.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to playing the grippy ones now, because I've been playing them for like probably 4 years, the grip ones, and I like them worn in. I like them when they're like.
Me too, man.
I've probably been playing this. It's gross. I've been playing this pick probably for like a year.
I think this one's virginal.
This one is for sure.
Yeah. I've usually got a bunch in my back pocket. See if I've got one that's kind of been around the block a little bit.
And then
Nope, too fresh.
Oh, is that one of the Petrucci ones?
No, it's an Oltex one.
I have one of the Petrucci ones here.
Oh, there you go.
It's a little bigger, but it's
Yeah.
Speaking of nerding out, they feel good.
Yeah, man.
They're fast.
I approve.
I do like that though.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the Ultex one. That's
Yeah, the
2
old
mil.
text. Yeah. It's
awesome.
got a little different bevel on it.
Yeah.
You know, I think my biggest complaint about the Jazz 3 is the pick slides aren't great because it's too thick. You know.
Have you seen these? This is one of those. I'm not endorsed by them in
Oh,
any
I
way,
have
but
seen these, yeah.
but
Yeah.
a friend of mine brought me. I haven't been playing these on electric, but I've been playing them on acoustic. They're like more of like I've used them on like more bluegrass stuff. But they're the Black Mountain. They're a Canadian company.
Yeah,
They're from BC, but they sound amazing on acoustic guitars.
Yeah, it's got a good feel to it.
Yeah, I like the cork in the middle. The cork goes all the way through. It's really comfortable.
Oh, it goes all the way through.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like the tone of it. It's got like a swooshy kind of, you know, like it's a different thing, isn't it?
They're really
I like
nice.
that, yeah.
If they had a jazz size in them, I probably would consider trying them out on electric stuff. They're just a little bigger than I like on electric, but on acoustic guitar, I've been playing these like almost exclusively.
It's played a lot of notes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's one that you've. That's
And they last forever.
Loved.
I think I've probably had this particular one going for about, because you know like the little watch pocket on your jeans.
Yeah.
That's my
That's
pick
your
pocket.
pickpocket.
The pickpocket. So and it's been rattling around it probably for close to a year. It's played a lot of notes, but
you know that was always my Allen key pocket
for the Floyd.
For the Floyd, I've kind of been a bit of a convert lately. You know, it's kind of hard to have such a light gauge of strings on a floating trem.
Oh my gosh!
So I've kind of like pivoted away from the Floyd, but that was always I used to keep the the Allen range.
That's funny.
Yeah,
it's so funny. What are you playing for picks, Dan?
I'm pretty simple. I mainly did it more for practicality, just switching to these cat tone picks just because I sweat so much on stage.
Right.
But I'm quite thin. I use 0.7s. I had a problem where I'm pretty heavy on the strumming, so I just found I was snapping a lot of strings.
Is it 0.73?
0.73, yeah. I just found that was a nice middle ground, and that I love doing that. So it was the best pick scrape I've heard in a while.
Oh yeah. When I started playing, I would use them on acoustic guitar and stuff. And when I started playing electric, I played the 0.73 Tortex, the yellow Dunlop pick for years.
Yeah.
And they sound really good. They have a great tone to them, actually.
Yeah.
I just found I could be a little more articulate with the Jazz 3.
Yeah.
Now it's what I've been used to, so I've heard that.
And you know, it's a compromise, isn't it? Because strumming on one of these sucks. It's a difficult thing because it's so rigid. Like it's so easy for the strings to kind of manipulate the pick out of your hand. But for single notes, I'm happy to make that compromise. You know.
Yeah.
Because it kind of forces you to pick right on the tip of the pick like that. You know.
Almost like pick slanting type stuff.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And then for acoustic, I honestly play wooden guitar picks. I just think they sound great.
Tree picks?
Tree picks is the one.
I've got a few in there from our friend.
I just think the acoustic guitar sounds great with the wooden picks. Just takes that clicky sound if you don't want that out of it. Just makes
I want that.
Brings the tone out. So it depends what you want. So
but I do like those. He gave me some picks too.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
They're really cool.
It's funny on the acoustic because the pick is like such a prominent part of the instrument, especially on the acoustic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if you've got it mic'd up, it's right there. It's like the tires of your car, you know. It's such an important component.
The pick is everything, and actually even on electric guitar, depending on the gig, there's one band that I play with where I don't play Jazz 3s. I play like Dunlop .88s or whatever, the green Dunlops. On when I'm out with Skinny.
You want that give?
Well, yeah, I want that. I want that sound because it's part of it's part of the sound that I'm looking for in that particular band. And you could hear the pick a little more, and it's part of the tone that I'm going for. So it's like, you don't have to just like commit to one thing for one specific thing.
No, you don't. You can bounce around.
Yeah, it also just kind of slows me down a little bit because like you don't overplay that way in that band.
Yeah.
You know, as much.
Yeah. Sometimes I play a little bass, and it's you know I tend to use a pick because I've got that facility for picking.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not a Jazz 3 thing on the bass.
Yeah.
You know.
Get some of those
want
felt,
a little bit more.
those felt picks for bass. They use
for that
the
sort
Carol
of
K thing, man.
muffled tone. Yeah. So it's good to bounce around and try different things. You know, for sure.
One of the things that I'll tell like guitar players if they're asking about just tone things and whatever is like mess around with your right hand,
Yeah.
how you're holding your pick, like the angle that you're hitting the strings out this way, the angle this way that you're
Yeah.
hitting the strings. Like find the
Where
sweet
you
spot,
are,
what
up
works
and
for you.
down,
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Huge.
So many variables that are going to change things.
Or even just like starting a solo on like a neck pickup sound, and then when you're ready to rip into it, flick to the bridge.
Yeah.
And just like
Yeah.
gives you that extra, almost like a voicing change, but it's you're not changing anything.
Especially
on
in
the
a
left
trio configuration.
Yeah.
too.
Especially on a Strat as well. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah.
You know, you can sort of wedge it and do all that stuff. It's the perfect design, isn't it? It's right there for you.
I'm like almost exclusively bridge pickup.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's depending on the day, but
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. I tend to live there on a Strat.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love the neck in the middle position, like one click back from,
Yeah,
from
sure.
the neck. I love that sound.
Yeah.
I think it's all because I like listened to so much Stevie Ray Vaughan when I was
Yeah,
younger.
oh, yeah.
It was just like
Yeah.
I was like, that's how it should sound.
Yeah. 100%, man. That's the vibe, isn't it? Definitely.
You know what to do now, which is come down to our event with Sam.
Yeah, I'm stoked to be talking about all the things, you know, alternate picking, modes, you know, making modes accessible. You know, everyone knows their minor pentatonic. If you know your minor pentatonic, you're 2 notes away from knowing modes. That's a very easy step. It can be a daunting thing when people start throwing around modal terms. But something that I really want to get going is get the loop station going and show you how much fun you can have just adding a couple of notes to your pentatonic box, putting a few things in your loop station, and playing with yourself.
Well, on that note, thanks for tuning in and watching our video.
Oh man.
Me and Matty are going to leave Sam to go play with himself and have a good old time.
I'm gonna leave very quickly.
Are you sure you don't want to stay for a bit, boys?
I don't know. If you make me another brew of tea, I might stay.
How was the tea? Is that okay?
It was absolutely
it's all right?
wonderful.
Yeah. Cup of tea. Can't beat a cup of tea.
Yeah.
It's a bit late for a cup of tea for me.
You've
Be
been
up
awake
all
all
night,
night, dreaming
yeah.
of strings and stuff.
Be talking about gain stages to the missus.
It's like while she's asleep. Yeah. Business as usual then, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Have I told you about my rotor vibe, love? I quite like it on the slow speed.
I wrote to vibe love. Oh my god.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Eyes just glaze over. I know that look well, trust
Yeah,
me.
glazed.
Just as her soul escapes her body.
Yeah.
You can say anything at that moment though. It's kind of like a hypnotism thing you can do though.
Yeah,
You kind of
that's right.
sneak some.
Start talking about gear and be like, oh, by the way, I bought this guitar and I just bought a couple other things.
Yeah.
And this mic I really wanted and whatever. And
It
it's
was on
like,
sale. I saved us loads of money.
it's like I'm making money. I made money for us. You know, the old like Trojan horse trick where it's like you get a new guitar, but you bring it in an old familiar.
Yeah,
guitar case.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually got a student who's a good friend of mine, and he says, Sam, if you've got one case and it's the same case coming up and down from the basement, you can have as many guitars as you want. Down
Yeah.
there. And you know, Janelle doesn't know about all of this, by the way. Don't tell her.
I always have made the joke too. It's like if I die young, please don't let my wife sell my gear for what I told her I paid for it. Yeah, don't do that.
No. Keep them in the family.
Well, Sammy, thank you very much. We're really excited about this. We're so happy that you can do this, and I think a lot of people are going to learn a lot from coming in and hanging out with Sam and seeing him play because it's going to blow a lot of people's minds. Sam is the pentatonic king, and he's an incredible guitar player, and you got to come hang with us. You got to see it.
I'm excited, boys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Play lots of notes. You know, maybe I might bring some tea down. You know, get some tea going. A cup of tea and too many notes. Yeah. April 9th. Come on down.
And if you're just considering how valuable this might be, just take that ticket price and divide it by how many notes Sam will play in the evening. And it's pretty good value
it's bang
for notes.
buck.
Fraction of
Yeah.
a cent per
Yeah.
note, actually.
Yeah,
It's
bang-
like
bang for buck.
0.028%.
I'm going to play lots of notes.
All of them. I'm going to play all of them. Find them up, let them go.
I love it. Could you bring your wife as well, just on the side, just to
Yeah.
watch you do it, just to see the reaction?
Yeah. I'll bring her down.
Bring Janelle.
But yeah, if you come down, it'd be awesome if you could just invite a buddy, a friend, and bring
Yeah.
them down. The bigger we can make this quicker, the more this builds, and we get to do this more certain in terms of planning it and arranging it and having venues that we can come back to. So the bigger we make this, the better it will be for sure. So,
It's good to get out and be among like-minded fellow guitar nerds in the wild, out and about. You don't need to be in your gym jams at 7 o'clock. It's nice to be outside.
I mean, if that's what it's going to take for you to come down, you come down in your gym jams.
Well,
or
I'll
whatever
be
you call
wearing
it.
my gym jams.
Perfect.
I have my French leisure suit on. Yeah.
I'm always wearing mine. French leisure suit. Oh.
yeah, when I saw you the other day, I knew I came shoes off, obviously, at the studio, and come in and you're wearing your Ugg boots slippers or something.
That's I catch a lot of shit for those. I have
What's going on here?
I have Ugg boots that I wear as my studio slippers out of the studio.
I loved it. It was
Nice
perfect.
and warm.
Yeah. Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah.
And then it gets cold.
Yeah.
You know?
You look really comfy.
Oh, they're comfy.
Yeah.
And they're warm.
the
I never
Australians-
get cold ankles.
Yeah, I think the Australians know a thing or two about boot making, don't they? It's like the Uggs and
Blundstones.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, who knew?
Yeah. The Aussies got it.
Yeah, they got it covered. Yeah.
Yeah. I just have the next pair I'm going to get are going to be the big chunky soled ones that all the people are wearing these days.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
They'll be a little taller.
I just got
Yeah.
some boots. I got some Timberland boots.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I recently made the switch from wearing Converse all the time to like wearing some Adidas trainers.
Oh.
And then like my back started to feel better because
Yeah.
they're so flat. And now I've got the boots. I just feel like everything is kind of going in the right direction for me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gonna go get some orthotics?
But I tell you what though, like wearing the big boots, it's hard to get the old stomp boxes
yeah.
going.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of pairs of boots that I really like wearing. I have a pair of Red Wing mock toes that are I can't wear them playing because I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
change pedals and stuff. But
yeah.
I love the boots.
Comfy.
But yeah.
Comfy. I think Adidas are my shoe of choice for, wah-wah pedals and roto vibes. And,
I like
and
wearing Vans.
Vans,
The
yeah.
Vans high tops. That's like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite shoe to wear.
They got some good heel support.
Yeah, they're not. They're whatever. They're good.
Yeah.
They're fine, but they're better than Converse.
Yeah, there's
they're better than Chucks.
there's nothing there, is there?
Yeah.
I wore, exclusively wore them for maybe 20 years.
Yeah.
And, just got a pair of Adidas. I'm like, man, what have I been doing?
For the Canadians in the room, that's Adidas.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Those with some kind of
Adidas.
speech
Adidas.
impediment. Yeah.
All day I dream about Sam. Yeah, that's a thing too. Like actually footwear
Yeah.
when you're trying to operate a pedal board.
I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about my Uggs and. See, I can't play a gig in my Uggs.
No, you'd be heckled.
I've never worn them outside of the house.
I forgot you had them until I saw you the other day. I was like, oh yeah, that's a thing.
It's a thing.
Well,
I can't survive for them.
You got to have slippers though.
I have
Oh,
these-
I agree. Yeah.
I've got my slippers over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have these red glasses, like red lenses for
Yeah,
like blue
like for
light and
playing-
stuff like
yeah,
that,
sure.
and so
Yeah.
I wear them in the studio sometimes if it's like getting later in the day.
Yeah.
I'll put those on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
These most of my glasses have blue light blockers, but I came out one day. One of my buddies they were working in Studio A, working on something, and I came out of my room and I came out and was wearing like a cardigan sweater and my Uggs and these red glasses, and it's my friend Mitch J, and he goes, "You're giving me tech billionaire vibes, man." I'm like, maybe I'll keep putting it out there, man.
You never know. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. In
Like, oh yeah.
country.
Right, come down to the event.
Live, laugh, love.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come and bring however many pairs of shoes you like, and
Yeah.
you'll be welcome.
Bring your wife. She'll love it.
Maybe I'll bring the Uggs. Maybe that'll be a thing.
Yeah. Bring your Uggs. I'll bring my slippers.
Yeah, bring them.
Yeah.
At this point, we're going to be sponsored by Uggs, so it's like,
Paid promotion.
My slippers at home are Uggs. Like I have like actual slippers at the house,
Yeah.
and they're pretty awesome.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Uggs, if you're listening, we all need some new slippers and boots.
Yeah.
if you can make them a little bit thinner, so they're easy to navigate the pedal board.
I'm going full gym jams now. I'm going to get my house coat and everything.
Just a fucking smoking jacket and cognac.
Yeah, we could put the
the
fire
encore,
video
yeah.
on behind you and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Christmas, the Yule log. Oh my God, they have like the one of the venues we're looking at. They have a giant video screen. If we put the Yule log up behind
yes.
you, that'd be pretty awesome.
It's going down. It's going down. April 9th.
April 9th.
See you then.
Yeah. Guitars and gym jams.
And more great jokes. Yeah.
Oh, great jokes. Why do I say stupid?
I don't know.
It's getting cut up though, right? It's getting cut up.
No, it's not. He always
It's
puts
not.
it in.